Leech and Rob James-Collier. Take a seat.
Thank you. Should we vote it up?
Milking here, Rob.
Two hottest stars.
The two hottest stars.
Dave Maggie's not going to be happy when she's
Sorry.
Sorry, break.
She just have to deal with it, frankly.
We've got metrical stances. Is that good? Good bench strength. Is this a problem for anyone? Just let us know.
They just did a photo shoot backstage, and there was a little bit of frisson between you, I thought, which I said was like the ultimate. That's the dream plotline, I think, maybe. The two of you.
Brampton and
yeah.
Oh, on a bonnet of a style.
How would you like that?
Does someone give you the script for this?
That is exciting. If Julian Fellers has gone down that route, that would be exciting.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, to start with, when I did ask this question last week of your colleagues, Joanne and Hugh, but I'm going to ask you two as well. It's got to be asked. When you first were sent the scripts for this show, did you know then, oh, this is really something special, or did you think, oh, this is just another period drama, that sounds fine?
I was like, what is that? That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. That is terrible. Julian who? Dave Maggie what?
Yeah.
God, you answer, because
I joined it
serious shit.
I joined it halfway through, so the guys had already started filming and everything else, so I never got the first script. I only got episode 4. Yeah. So, but I was still going, but the writing was really good, you know, and then met him for the first time. So sorry about bad casting, but
when I got it, it was Julian Fellers abroad. He got the Oscar for Gosford Park. David was in it. Hugh Bonneville, Brendan Coyle. It was a who's who of British actors. So of course I thought, I'd love to be part of it. Yeah. Why are they sending it me? There must be some mistake. But
And did you know kind of pretty much what your character was going to be like, didn't you, from those first scripts that you read? Did you have an inkling of how they've developed as well? Or
did I know he was going to be gay?
Did you know he was going to be gay?
Yeah.
That's the question I'm working around.
It'd be nice of them to tell me, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
However many series you're going to be rolling around on the floor with men. Yeah. You want to be told that before you know, just so you can tell the missus, to be honest. I did know pretty much that he was gay and he was, I won't say evil, misunderstood. Yeah. And he was a little bit bitter towards his fellow man. So I knew all that. Yeah, it was quite in-depth, the background.
And did you like the idea of getting into a juicy kind of quiet, borderline evil character?
Misunderstood. Of course, because the devil's always got better tunes, right? And it's always good to take your angst out on screen instead of on people on the tube. Because you can get arrested that way. You can't get arrested on you trip someone up on the show, you can't get arrested. You do that on the tube, apparently it's assault.
We started slightly late because you got caught, didn't you?
Oh, blame me.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, guys. It was the driver.
And you had to run up Oxford Street.
You booked. I had to run up Oxford Street.
Yes, so Robert's run up Oxford Street.
And I got a bit of a dab on just to be here. I didn't even know people were going to be here. I thought it was just going to be
Did you do the three of us in a room?
Yeah. I mean, it's great that you are here.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was going to be this many people. That's why I'm babbling.
Fair enough. And what did you think of your character? Did you know that your character was going to make a kind of have more of a journey, if I can use the awful word?
No, well, I was literally hired for 3 episodes. Which were 4, 6 and 7. Yeah. And then I kind of went, well, it's been lovely. I'll do that for you, you know. And then they called when they got commissioned for the second series and said, we'd like to have you back. And then that was only supposed to be for the second series. And then I got a call saying, we'd like you back for the third.
Because you're so amazing.
Yeah. I think you had something to do with it, did you, Rob?
Yeah, you know. Yeah. I slept with someone, I don't remember why or where, but I know it benefited someone's career at some stage.
No, that was me.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You'll say you put in a word for him. You'll say
the last person, listen, you've seen what I'm like. The last person you're not putting a word into you is me.
Yeah.
Right. Because he would never have him back.
Do you get involved? Do you speak to Julian, the creator, at all about your characters? And do you say, oh, I'd quite like to do this, or I'd quite like to do that, or
I'm not one of them actors. A lot of actors do, but I think, listen, there's 21 of us on the show. If he's got 21 babies crying at him all the time, he's gonna do his head in. So I leave him to get on with it, and he hopefully reacts to what I do on screen, and I've seen that in his writing. He'll follow what you do and start writing more for the traits you show on the screen. So that's the way I prefer to do it.
So what kind of traits of yours has he picked up on you?
Well, I think these are vulnerabilities that we're seeing in Thomas now, particularly in this series. and we're seeing frailties and an emotional side that perhaps we didn't see there before. So we're seeing the complexity of him, and also I think he's got a little bit of humour to him as well, which he wrote in a few nice sort of witty barbs. Okay, they're always malicious and evil, and about destroying someone's soul in its entirety, but nevertheless, they're funny.
Yeah. And your character's a bit of a kind of quite a firebrand. He's getting quite political. Is that something you kind of like to portray?
I like portraying it. I mean, I was wary of it. I'll be honest. That when we got the scripts for the series 3, you don't want to become a stereotypical Irish, Republican.
Sure.
I was a bit afraid of that.
Sure.
But then you have to trust. I mean, if Julia Fellows is writing the show, you trust his writing, and you go with it.
Yeah. And of course, Hugh's character is the one who's kind of he's being quite bigoted about you.
Yeah. So exactly, you're not actually coming across in that way. You're not being bigoted about it. But it is, something that's interesting to play. And I suppose it was a challenge. And I suppose one of the things is you're like, if I can make this easier for myself, maybe you would. But Julian just, as I say, you trust his writing and just go with it, do the best job you can.
It's quite interesting. He weaves these, without getting too heavy, he's weaving quite big themes and ideas, isn't it? It's not just, like people say, the show is soapy, which is in a way. There's a lot of birds.
My wife said, it's got a big one, steady. Oh, no, we're okay for here.
We should say this is going to be an international podcast, but we can cut bits like that out.
Exactly.
So the Americans who won't see it till January don't know about that.
I know, but we'll cut that down. But that's a big...
Yeah, that was amazing. Well, let's talk
about what I was daydreaming.
The death.
Can I just point out, I've just seen a man walk out without paying for an iPad. Sorry, he's gone right on Regent Street. All units to Regent Street. Sorry.
That's the army.
He's got the fucking global brand everywhere.
That's so you can steal some apple product, isn't it? You're hoping you're going to get away with that.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, that's it. So we were talking about the death of a certain character that's happened in this series.
Someone died.
Nobody told me. Is it me? I've got mortgage to pay. But that was amazing. Now, my question about that is, A, the fact that it was kept such a secret, which almost never happens in TV, was astonishing. And was it difficult to keep that secret? And B, were you excited that thing affected you a lot involving your character?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to keep it a secret, and I was amazed that we did in the way that we did. And even the response on Twitter was hilarious afterwards. I love this. I can't. I just can't. Oh, please, Branson. My favourite ship. I'm not really hilarious. I think it's my fault. I walked in and Julian's great idea. I'm going to watch my wife die. Wonderful, great. But there is excitement, but obviously then it's changing the relationship, and it was quite hard to do. I mean, I started that journey with Jeff as well, on that show, and we've become great friends, and then having to do those things was, yes, as an actor, you're like, brilliant, and you're excited about what it might do to your character afterwards.
Sure.
But it is tough.
And now you've got baby things to do. How's the baby? Is there one baby? There were ex-babies?
There were 2 babies. They were absolutely gorgeous. The tiny ones are always great, because they do very little.
Okay.
Then they start, Are you accusing babies of being lazy?
A 9-month-old baby, you're giving it crap.
No, 2.
Oh,
2 of them.
I can't see the emotion. You're giving me nothing. Get rid of the baby.
They were amazing.
The next baby.
They were amazing, because every time they went action, one of them actually would do a little move.
There you go.
Sign my agent now.
Yeah. A bit of a kind of diva. Diva baby. Before we carry on, let's see a clip. We've got clips to show. I think this first clip is you and action, Rob. So you like this? We'll just remind ourselves.
Who's that for? Why are you doing it down here?
It's from Mr. Matthew. It was creased and I brought it down to iron.
You're never looking after him. What about Mr. Mosley?
He's staying on at Crawley House.
Then why wasn't I asked? I wonder how that came from. If you're out learning how to do your job, you should never open a shirt in a room like this where it might be marked. Let alone put studs in it. Do that in the dressing room, nowhere else.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Thomas, for always trying to be so very helpful.
I went wrong with the ginger ale.
Oh, yeah. Right. So you and O'Brien this series had a bit of because previously you were kind of, together, you were kind of plotting and then scheming, and now She's plotting scheming against you.
We were brought together by the common bond of cigarettes. It's true, I'm not messing about now.
Yeah.
When, you know, people at work go outside for a cig break, so you've got to bond with the people that you're always sitting having a cigarette. You've got to get to know them, chat, plot plans for world domination together. So it's a natural course of events.
Yeah.
So they bonded through smoking. I'm not condoning smoking in any way, shape or form, but in Edwardian times, it was a massive release. So they bonded through that, and they became allies. And then there's no honour amongst thieves, is there? I get jealous because a nephew comes in, and I resent the attention he's getting and the help he's getting, and he's gone straight in at footman, which I had to work years for. And I kind of see him as a threat. So in Thomas's paranoid, way of viewing the world, he seeks to destroy this man. Whether he's done anything to Thomas personally is immaterial. He's a threat, so he wants to get rid of him by hook or by crook.
Absolutely. And the other
that'll be the title of the chapter there of this called the bullet points.
That's good. That's good. Very good.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing about this series is last series you weren't so gay. Like series 1 you were doing. You weren't so gay. You stopped being gay. Not the gay, wasn't it? Yeah, which was weird, wasn't it? So and now you're back being gay. Thankfully. And we've seen you in the previous this last episode. Throwing yourself at this guy.
To be fair, let me stick up for the last series. See what I've done there. I've personified the last series. I've made it like a tangible human thing so everyone feels sorry for it.
Yeah.
His sexuality took a back seat to World War I.
Yeah.
It swings around like can't grumble too much. 50,000 died on the first day of the storm. Thomas's sexuality's got to take a back seat. What was the question?
So now you've got this juicy storyline where you're literally throwing yourself.
Well, it's got what I was actually. We used the term a lot. I don't like. You shut up.
No, look now.
We use the term an arc, and it's an overused term. But you want an arc for your character where beginning, and he goes through a whole mill of emotions, and we see that from the midpoint of this series to the end point. We see Thomas go on a huge journey where he essentially destroyed by the manipulation of O'Brien, and it's quite fascinating to see, and also. People, when this went out in the UK, I wasn't here when I've not seen the last 3, but I got a lot of response from my texts about people feeling sorry for Thomas, and that's never happened. And it's because he's been undone, and he's been undone through love, and he's let his guard down, and people identify with being heartbroken, right? We've all been heartbroken, haven't we? No? Oh, no one's been heartbroken. You've never been done. Never. Okay. All right. Well, that is it.
These are those people.
Yeah. They are really exceptionally good looking. They probably maybe have been done.
These are the alpha males and females that come to Apple again.
Yeah. Well, I've been done. And I'm telling you, it feels horrible. Have you been done? Of course. Yeah, but what's wrong with it? They've never had a relationship, then that's the only thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it was unwise, surely, for you to throw yourself, to try and kiss that man. Which you haven't even seen yet. But
we have to talk about this.
Put this bit out. Let's put it out of the podcast.
The lean over night, the night rape kiss. I don't know what's going on in Julian Fellowes' head, but that's one of his twisted sort of fantasies.
Exactly.
No, it was a great thing to play because you saw a guy who was completely bamboozled by O'Brien and was so in love and besotted with this guy, he started to believe these crazy things O'Brien would tell him, just because he wanted them to be true so much. Yeah. So we saw that really sensitive, naive side of Thomas where he completely let his guard down, and it was beautiful to see. And I'll be honest, beautiful to play. It was a lovely scene. The guy, Ed Spilliers, has got really soft lips. And if you're going to kiss a man, let it be a beautiful man like Ed Spilliers. I ain't got anything wrong against ugly guys. I'll kiss ugly guys as well. I'm just saying, if they're good looking, it's a bonus.
On that. And we're back. And now, before we go, let's have a look at one of Alan's great scenes. And this is great. Sit down, please.
Oh, come in, Tom. May I call you Tom?
Of course. Good afternoon, my lady. That is Lady Grantham. I'm glad to find you here because I want to apologise for last night.
Oh, there's no need. We know it was not your fault. You weren't the first drunk in that dining room, I can assure you.
Only the first Republican.
Well, you've got me there.
Why was it you wanted to see me?
We've asked Molesley to look out Matthew's old morning coat. He's confident he can make it fit.
That's very kind, ladies. But you see, I don't approve of these costumes. I see them as the uniform of oppression, and I should be uncomfortable wearing them.
Are you quite finished?
Yes.
I have.
Good. Please take off your coat. Molesley, do help him.
You'll just slip off some.
Shouldn't you put boys' clothes on first?
What's going on? They're forcing me into a morning coat. He has no say.
No, he doesn't, and nor do you. Well, what do you think, Molesley?
Need lifting a little. Young lady, I'll move the buttons so.
Well, I think the shoulders look odd.
That's great scene.
Looking great scene.
Good scene, yeah.
So you're pretty much one of the unique people who's got to kind of, you've acted with the people downstairs, and now you've gone upstairs.
Yeah, and have proper scenes with on both sides.
Who should prefer?
It's very different. I mean, careful what you say. Yeah. But it is a very different vibe. You know, up in Highclere, I think the time constraints and pressure of actually filming in that place make it a very different environment as well. You know, and also you tend not to have, you know, that there's a legend in the room a lot of the times. Not saying you're not a legend, but
Same Maggie Smith.
I sit.
I'm too funny was going on about how much he hated the dog last.
oh, listen, stuff. Yeah.
Which still make the paper, doesn't it? How do you feel about the dog?
I love dogs. And I love ice.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But that dog was pretty difficult. I was in a lot of those scenes with
You've got a lot of dog scenes.
Yeah, I love those scenes there.
He's got an attitude, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, he's got a
Can I just clarify, the reason they're pissed off with ISIS is because ISIS has the biggest trailer out of the dog. It's huge, it's a double-decker.
No,
There's no need for the helter skelter on the side.
You have to like it, but also Dame Maggie Smith.
Yeah. But and obviously that has a different vibe.
Yeah.
You know, and you're also learning. I mean, off Maggie Smith constantly. You know, just like even that line about the shoulders looking odd. You know, there wasn't any real end on the scene, and Brian Percival said, "Maggie, can I come to you for some of your magic?" And she said, "My magic ran out 3 years ago, but okay." And she said, I'll think of something. And she came up with the shoulders line, and and even the thing that she does with her voice, like you know.
She Graham Norton impression.
But also then Molesley would go, not exactly that. But it was funny, and on the day we all had a go of going, you know, so Maggie went, and then he went, and then, you know, it didn't make the cut.
No. Is she as much fun to be with as she looks? She looks like incredible.
She is great fun, yeah.
Is it daunting? Because I've never had I've like introduced people into a room with Maggie and maybe said one line, but is it daunting for you as an actor to have a whole scene like that against an icon, two-time Oscar winner and all that? Is it different from having scenes with you or Dan or myself? I'm also in the show.
Yeah. You never won an Oscar. It's a good question. Yeah.
Do you drop your lines more, or
no? But it's very different. You're right, and that was one of the first scenes that I had in Series 3 to film, and it was very daunting.
Yeah. Well, it didn't show, did it?
So,
and what about having a plane round as well this time around? Was that
the double then
double legend.
Double legend.
I just don't like working with my exes. Always a problem.
She loved you. Do you remember the first day she arrived? She walked up and she went, "Where's the evil one?"
She got bring him to my trailer.
And what did you say?
Yeah, it wasn't quite that brutal. I said,
misunderstood.
No, I wish I had now.
Yeah.
I said, "Nice hat. I'm Rob." I was so rude. Like, oh my God, she's talking to me.
Yeah.
She was a top girl. She ate with us. She drank with us. She was one of the ensemble. So it was great to see that because we all had painted up this Hollywood icon coming. She's going to be aloof and none of it all. She just totally embraced it. She was a big fan of the show, wasn't she? Yeah. Asking us questions about all our characters.
She found out off her hairdresser about the show.
Oh, did she? Oh, she wasn't a big fan of the show.
No, but then when she watched it.
Oh, yeah. But it is huge. So that's the big question. It's become huge here. It's massive in America, all around the world. What is it? Can you put your finger on the reasons why it's gone from, you know, a hit to being an absolute global phenomenon?
I think it comes down to, personally for me, not for me, it comes down to Julian's ability to give you what has happened to Rob's character. You know, you start with one view of him, And then what he does is he completely changes that over the course of be it a series or 2 series or 3. And I think it's his ability as a writer. Personally, that's what I think is really interesting.
Right. Why is it so? Why is it an absolutely unique phenomenon? Among all the period dramas?
I just think in England it's got something for everyone. There's 21 and they've all got such an extensive CV. Someone will have seen them in something else, so there's that crossover. Also, Julian's writing, obviously. Dame Maggie Smith's a massive draw. And they scheduled it beautifully, a masterclass right after the X Factor. Because you had a crossover from people who would watch the X Factor who would not normally watch period drama. They give it that first 10 minutes a shot, and then so we've had a crossover from there. In terms of worldwide, America, they're fascinated because it's a relatively young country. They're fascinated with our heritage and our history, and the glamour and the opulence upstairs. They've got America's kind of got a real romantic ideal of England, and that's what Downton shows them on screen. They think we still live like that. And if there's one thing this country does better than any in terms of drama in the world, is a period drama. This is our speciality, and I think that's why, it stems back to our colonial days. England's had a foothold, rightly or wrongly, in pretty much 90% of the world, so it's in all the world's conscious anyway, our country, so this is dealing with our history. So yeah, maybe that's what's made it such a success. That almost sounded intelligent.
That was very from that high ground.
They don't like it when I get hard. I don't have to be around. No. Yeah. I don't like it when you say big words.
Before I throw over to you guys, so if you think of your questions, and when I throw and wait for the mic and everything, all of that, let's go lowbrow. Would you do, you had to do topless scenes, and love scenes, and all that stuff. How do you enjoy that kind of stuff? It's embarrassing.
Love scenes are only a nightmare.
Yeah.
When the actor in the scene, when they get pregnant. Because you've got maintenance issues. Yeah. You've got a child that you didn't want.
Yeah.
But you've got to commit. I'm a responsible guy. I've made a commitment, right? Yeah. So I've got a child that I've got to bring up now. And they were born on screen. How do you tell the child that when they come of age? You were a mistake, but you were a film mistake that went live 11 million people. That's going to fuck up their head. Yeah, you can edit that swear word, can't you? I have to use the F word to get the gravitas across. Can't just say I haven't been drinking, I'm just always like I didn't vouch.
I will, mate. Alan, and you become sensible, so both of you aren't. You are. They are sensible.
I'm totally shag Alan.
Yeah.
How
did life change your life in that way? Are you aware of that?
Are we getting more sex?
Have you got people trying themselves?
What do you want us to say that? Yes, I am aware of it. As a matter of fact, I got on the tube the other day and I was staring at me because I'm such a sex. Yeah. No. For me, you start thinking on them lines, you turn into a wanker. Yeah. Okay. So we focus on we're actors, and we have a laugh now because we don't want to be dull as actors, and we want you to enjoy yourself. Yeah. But at the end of the day, all that matters is the scene. So you do whatever for the scene. Anything else that comes as a byproduct of the show, ignore it. The hype around the show, it's about the show. No one's bigger than the show, no one's stronger than the show, so don't get involved in the hype. Just focus on your job as an actor and get on with that. That is the succinct answer. Thank you. He kept me doing for you. I was responding to that. I didn't respond to have you ever been done? No, I haven't been done. Are you serious? They didn't want to open old rooms. Why did you do that? You're right, God. 100 people having a flashback now. Yeah. Because of you. Yeah. Right. And it was it's not you, it's me. It was you. It wasn't him, he was lying, that's what they say. Sorry.
After you're coping with the pain that the rock is exposed, you can now ask them pretty much anything you want. The lady here in the middle in the front row, the one who's coming along now.
Looking scared.
Yeah. Now, yeah.
Hi. First of all, thank you. You've been kind of the show, and it's been amazing.
Thank you very much.
Not a hybrid question at all. So today's Halloween. If they had a Halloween party at Downton, what would Brenton and Thomas dress up as?
Good, wow. That was a good question. Good question. I would dress up as Dame Maggie Smith. Thomas, it's just an excuse to get his legs out. Hey, I'm not shaved him for nothing. These days are getting shown. Alan? Again, I'm not drinking.
as Maggie's character's walking stick.
Yeah.
What part of me?
Yeah.
I'll reveal later.
That's a surreal answer. I like that.
Yeah, that's good on.
So I hope that's answered your question. Next question.
Yeah, very good question. We'll go 2 along. I'll just try and spread it out.
Question time.
Yeah.
This is for Alan. I know that you originally were going to be in Yorkshire.
Yes, Yorkshireman.
And I wondered whether you could do a rendition of what Branson would be like as a Yorkshire.
And he has brilliant accents as well.
I can't believe you said that. I can't even remember. I'm not beside him. I can't sit beside him.
Well, why don't you do the Yorkshire? We'll start going,
Why can't I do my version of Rob?
Can I do Rob? Alright, what about, if you don't do Yorkshire, do you not want to do Yorkshire?
No.
What
You
about
did it for the audition, come on.
Yeah, I did. Because I walked in and they immediately said, no, let's make a match.
do Julian into Dan Stevens into me?
This is super. Well, it better happen.
No, I'm not doing that.
Go on.
A little bit of Julian. At the end of the day, Branson has to end up there. That was it. Yeah, thank you.
Anyone over here? Just whether there's a lady there first and I'll come to you. So just in the front row on this end.
Do they need the mic?
She needs the music.
It's a magical mic.
Okay, this is for Mr. Leech. This is kind of a question involving your character. I've noticed in the preview for the next episode, he's kind of joining, kind of adapting to the upper class. Does that mean he's abandoning his previous views?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And no, I don't think Branson would ever give up the fight for what he believes in. Unfortunately, circumstances have made him have to adapt, not only for himself but also for his small child. And whilst it has the impression that he goes very willingly into it, you'll have to watch on Sunday.
Good answer.
Fine.
The lady right at the back there.
Yeah, it was good.
It might have already been answered, but we thought that you guys were the bromance of Downton, but now Tom's like in field with Matthew and wearing his clothes. So
Yeah.
who's it going to be?
At the same time,
Who's it going to be? Who's that?
Bromance, well, so,
It's not a serious question.
no, it's not.
No.
It's a good question. On screen, bromance has to be Matthew and Tom, but off screen, it has to be you and me. I feel like that was an answer of like take me out or something. No liking.
Thank you. Lady standing up there.
A question for Rob. I agree with you. Thomas and his magnificent heaving bosom are horribly misunderstood.
Are you seeing that move?
Not at all. There's a whole following on Twitter talking about your marvellous chest.
Really?
Yeah,
What's marvellous about it? We've not seen it in the show, have we?
No, we haven't, but you wear a t-shirt very well.
You know what the trick there is? Tight t-shirts. Get a child size and it makes you look bigger. Sorry, what was the question?
I'm sorry, you distracted me.
Sorry.
My question was, I think we mainly see Thomas's weaknesses at the moment. Is that a fair representation? Do you see him as being a particularly weak person?
Well, I don't think weak how. What you mean, the way he falls for guys and gets his heart broken?
No. I was thinking if you go back to, for example, what he did during the war and his experience with, trying to sell dubious food and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It feels as if we never see him doing anything positive and really achieving anything.
Well, it's an interesting question. My thing, first of all, is why is he like that? And I think to be gay in Edwardian times, when not only was it against God, well, it still is with some religions now, isn't it? But anyway, which I don't know. Not only was it against God, but it was illegal, and you would get locked up, and it would be the end of your career because you would never work again, so you'd essentially starve. He has this weight on his shoulders. He's not ashamed of who he is, yet he can't tell anyone who he is, because as he said, I think in the last step, no one dares speak out. So he's got this tremendous burden on his shoulders. So if the guy's a bit sort of bitter and paranoid and twisted, it's because of this huge cross he's got to bear that he can never tell anyone for fear of being found out. He can't find anyone to be complicit with and trust. So that's my part, sticking up for him for why he might be how he is. And maybe going into the black market was a means of becoming self-employed, so he didn't have to rely on a reference. He could finance himself and then finally be himself, if you know what I mean. Because if he got outed, it wouldn't matter because he'd have his own income, if you know what I mean. That was my theory. With the war stuff, where we called it getting a blight in, he got his hands shot. Now, my first reaction when I read that was that it was the act of a coward. But our historical advisor, Alistair Bruce, was Yoda. He was a Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Jesus. He was a Falklands veteran, and I won't go into what he said to me, but he very kindly took me, Dan, and Thomas Howells, who were all in the trenches in the Second War, and he gave us the benefit of his on-the-ground experience, and we're talking hand-to-hand combat. And it was an amazing conversation I'll never forget, and the hairs were stood up on the back of my neck. And he said it isn't the act of a coward, and he changed my thinking on it to knowingly put your hand up and know it's going to get literally blown to smithereens. It was one of the bravest things you could do, and he's a marker down for the horrors that they'd experienced in the Somme. Let's not forget, Thomas had been there for 2 years already, and I wouldn't blame anyone for putting their hand up and getting out of that, because, I mean, it was relentless. The research I've done, the horrors, you wouldn't blame any man for doing it on the first day. So 2 years' time to hold your hand up is extremely brave, I think, to last that long.
I'm really glad you said that, especially with Remembrance Day coming up. I know it's a strange thing to say, but I think we forget, unless we read things like Private Peaceful or what have you, we forget what an extraordinary, difficult thing it was. And I actually saw that as an act of bravery on Thomas's part as well. So.
Well, that was me speaking to a veteran, Alistair Bruce, very kindly let me into his world, but he didn't have to. It's a painful world for him. But it changed my complete understanding of it, and hopefully maybe yours, everyone today as well.
Thank you.
Good question.
Thank you very much. Gentleman there, right at the back and forward. It's a test of the mic. The man standing out right at the back. She's off again. We didn't want to. On the way. There we go.
Hi there. I have a question for Rob, one for Nana, and one for both.
Oh, okay. So 3 questions.
3 questions. Easy.
I'll be very quick.
A little bit cheeky.
Yeah.
I'll be very quick. Don't worry.
He's going to do a reading.
And you got notes as well.
I've got some notes as well. Yeah. Very good. Rob, I mean, you've got a very interesting background. You've got 2 degrees in business and marketing.
Yeah.
And you were doing modeling and acting.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I mean, what brought you in this direction? And Alan, I want to ask you. So I just go quickly to something else.
You want to answer at the same time as that? That's fine. Rob remembers that. Yeah.
Alan. You remember that?
Yeah.
Pre-request.
Sorry, where
Alan, you were born in Ireland, you studied in Ireland.
Yeah.
How was it to come and act in such a British atmosphere series such as Downton Abbey? And for both of you, you're both in your 30s, and this... Alright. You're going with the film.
I know what my favourite was.
Downton Abbey is already a huge series. But how would you say about your upcoming career afterwards?
Well, the answer to the last one, quickly, I don't. I take every job as it comes. I don't think too bad because I got into this in an ad hoc way, as you rightly said. I've got a business studies degree and a marketing master's. Nice degree, master's. It's a BA on an MSc, just saying. Never used it. That's $5 grand I've never spent. Because I got into it in an ad hoc way, I don't look at the next job. I just believe in you're only as good as your last job. Just concentrate on that, do as good a job as you can, and hopefully that work, in theory, should lead to more work.
Alan? I agree completely with that. So do you want to answer next one?
Oh, and the other one, how did I get... Yeah, I was working in an office as a marketing assistant after doing my marketing masters. And I hated it, and Ricky Gervais's The Office was on at the time, and I was like, oh my God, that is my office. I was listening to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Great album to listen to, bad one to listen to if you're in a row. I hated where I was, so it was either 2 options, go and find something different, or commit suicide. I chose to find something different and somewhere to express myself, and it was complete serendipity. It was acting. Once I went to the first acting class, I felt like I'd come home. I know it sounds cheesy, but I felt like I'd found something that I was good at and a place where I sort of belonged. Alan?
Yeah, being Irish in the shows kind of important, given that the character's Irish, and doesn't make it difficult to play. It kind of adds to it. So coming over here and being out of your comfort zone is good for Downton. I obviously was over here beforehand doing other things, but for that jet.
Also, half the cast are Irish. I mean, my mum's Irish. Siobhan Spinner is Irish. Sophie McShear is Irish. So you see, Michelle Dockery is just his extended family, really. Yeah. The Irish get everywhere. You can't stop us. Like Apple Mac.
We're Thank you for your 3 questions. The lady at the front, let's go back to the front.
Hi, thanks for being here. My question is there a trait in your characters that you feel is underappreciated by the viewers, you'd like maybe noticed more or talked about more in the show?
Good question. I think sometimes Branson's passion for what he does can be misconstrued as something more sinister in relation to what he believes in. And the levels, especially at this time in Ireland, the troubles and what was happening, I think that people kind of forget how big that was and how an important a struggle that was for the Irish people. And people then tend to kind of, I think, kind of get annoyed with Branson given the fact that he's so passionate about it, given that they're even outside of it, living in this beautiful house with no servants, and suddenly, they have this guy coming in and they can tell them that that's not exactly how the world works. And I think it's kind of important that he has that passion. Sometimes I think people can get a bit annoyed about it.
Thomas, he has a passion for, he loves unicorns. He also get unicorns in. He loves them, right? And there was a beautiful scene at the shop where he met a unicorn in an enchanted wood, and it was a magical moment because they're magical creatures, right? And they cut it. So, and he does these do a great scene where I do paintings of unicorns. But
one unicorn. It was a brace of unicorns.
It was a brace of unicorns, and he paints them, and they're all over his bedroom. But they cut it out of the show, so you see them on the odd wall, but the camera doesn't. It doesn't hang on them, so people don't realise that this guy's got a genuine love.
You told me that was in a Christmas special.
We're not supposed to. We don't. Sorry. That's not been released.
Sorry.
So he loves the unicorns and the wicked skateboarder.
Yeah. 2 more questions. Well, ladies there by the pillar with a green scarf on. The mic's just on its way. You can pass it back. Here we go.
And she has these.
Hi, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I have a question for Rob.
Are you sure about that?
Only 2 more questions.
And the scene from the last episode when you came into James's room, do you think that if Alfred hadn't walked in, that he would have rejected you?
Oh.
What do you think?
I don't know. He doesn't seem too interested in this.
I think he pretty much odds on would have rejected me.
Yeah.
Even if he was gay, you can't go kissing someone when they're asleep. like Jessica Alba I could be asleep on set and I was lucky enough to work with her. She could come and kiss me and wake up. I'm still going to be pretty pissed off. I'm like, Jessica, right? Yeah, you're a lovely girl, and I am heterosexual, but I was having a great dream, and you stuck your pluggers on me and ruined the dream. So I think you'd be pissed off and reject me either way, because you don't kiss people in the sleep, do you? You can't. You've got to stop doing that. They'll take you away.
Go in and get that master key for hotel rooms.
Yeah,
I've actually seen your photo.
Great question. Yeah, 1 more question. Who's like, there's a gentleman there. I'll go for the bald gentleman. No favouritism. Well, as a bald man, I can safely say that is a bald gentleman. I'm sure he's lovely right now, by the way.
Thank you. Happy to be referred to as the bald gentleman on the Paul's podcast.
I wouldn't mind.
How has your personal life changed now, being on a hit series? You went from doing plays and other TV shows and bit parts. Now you got these great roles. Your role went from 2 episodes to pivotal character in the show. What's it like for your personal life, walking down the street, and everything, your career, all of the above? Yeah, I think obviously a show like this, you have a lot more interest from people just even sending in scripts, just because you're better known, I suppose. Personally, walking down the street it's when the episode's on, I find that it's only on the Monday, maybe people will pass you and go, right? Well, that's it, you know? No one really comes up and says anything. Whereas to me, they go, oh, sleep kisser! Alright, we're on Oxford Street. And also, I'm invariably late. Like, I was running here, weren't my fault driving, but I was legging it down Oxford Street. So, if I'm out and about, I'm usually running. So it's kind of, look at that. Well, by that time, I've done a Usain Bolt tune of me. But also, let's be honest, like, going on the tube for you is a bit of a day out. Yeah. We did the tube.
I'm coming for match. Have you suffered an injury at work? Fucking sake! 800 witnesses! I don't know how to Christmas!
I don't know if I think that now. I don't think I do.
Yeah. Luckily, that was the last question. So, yeah. Go on, back. Your life will change. But your life will change, haven't they? I guess that's all.
Well, I've got fatter.
Here we go. Don't touch it last.
Kick the tires?
Yeah.
Don't be billing me for that.
For the benefit of audience, Robert's destroyed it.
That would 21 members of the cast. That would never happen to anyone
but you. So anyway, it has changed your life.
No. Okay. In terms of opportunity, I've been to South Africa to promote the show and dove with great white sharks. I've been at the state opening of the Parliament. We went to the opening. Sorry, subject he was working, so he couldn't go. We were allowed to go to the opening of the Olympics.
I wasn't again. I was working.
These amazing events that you would normally get. I mean, so in terms of opportunities, they were amazing. But it would have been better with you. So yeah, but in terms of, I'm not living in a massive. Can I just get? Everyone thinks if you're on TV, you're a millionaire. We're not. I'm living in a semi-detached. Nice semi-detached, don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing my house. But nothing's changed. I don't live in a palace. We don't fly first class. We fly economy. Wow. But in terms of opportunity, then it's opened up a different ballpark.
We've got to wrap it up now. I just want to quickly ask, have you been signed up for another series? Is there going to be another series? Do we know about that?
I'd love to do one if it was going.
If they want, we don't know if it's been recommissioned or not.
It's the biggest show on TV, it's got to be.
Well,
stranger things have happened.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't want to give it a kiss step. But if they wanted me, I would love to come back and do it again.
I'd love to too if I had more scenes with him and a unicorn.
We all want that.
Yeah.
Just so it's the last episode on Sunday.
Yeah.
Final series, Christmas special. Bound to be on Christmas Day, I reckon. And the DVD of this series is out on Monday as well. I've mentioned that. I just want to say thanks to you two. You have been by far the most entertaining people ever on the stage.
Thank you once again for joining us for this Meet the Cast series.